Breaking news, a police search for several gunmen this morning who they say shot up a lounge in Brooklyn.
11 people in total were shot and 3 of those were killed. The victims ranging in age from 27 to 61 years old. Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lands is live at a very busy police scene in Crown Heights this morning. Shantae.
And Tony and Joe, good morning. Very busy is a great way to explain it. In fact, a second crime scene unit van just arrived here. You can also see, I want to reference how close this is to the actual shooting. That's a police precinct. It's transit police, but that's how brazen this crime was. Bullets sprayed inside that lounge. You can see multiple detectives. Will Cespedes is going to pan over from this other crime scene van here. You can see an investigator going in that truck. But further along, you can see detectives standing outside in the middle of the street here. This is Franklin Avenue in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. But this is where that shooting happened. This is Taste of the City Lounge. And you mentioned the age range, Joe and Tony. 11 people in total shot, 3 of them, all males, killed, ages 27, 35. And according to Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, the third person's age, also a male, is not known. This happened just after 3 in the morning. 36 shell casings at least were gathered from multiple guns. That's according to police. So far, no arrests, but they're canvassing this area for videos of any information on those suspects. They also found, we want to mention, a gun at Bedford Avenue and Eastern Parkway, not too far from here, but they're not sure if that's connected. Again, that's according to the police commissioner. But what we know, according to a witness that I spoke with who was inside at the time, that shooting happened in the middle of Taste of the City Lounge. Multiple people were shot at that time. She was in the front. She got out. She's okay, thankfully. But we also spoke with witnesses, and I also, of course, the police commissioner about this brazen crime.
Officers arrived within minutes of the first 911 calls and found numerous gunshot victims inside of the location. Currently, we have identified 11 victims ranging in age from 27 to 61. 8 males and 3 females.
And back out live here outside of Taste of the City Lounge, that Commissioner Tisch also mentioned that there was a shooting here November of 2024 that they have on record, someone getting shot. They didn't die, but this, of course, is the worst. This is a mass shooting. She also said shootings up until this point wasn't as bad, but obviously now, after today, they have their hands tied and they'll be on this scene all day. Reporting live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, Shantae Lands, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Good morning. I should just say morning. When you have 12 people shot in your city, a mass shooting of second in a few weeks, you know, it's just impacts and reinforces why we do this work of going after guns off our streets. And I just really want to thank the police commissioner and the men and women of the New York City Police Department, Pastor Morose, Commissioner Howard of GYCD, and A2 Mitchell for Man Up, who just has been a real partner around the issues around gun violence. It's almost 2019, we had 12 people shot in Brownsville. I remember walking with A.T. Mitchell throughout Brownsville and Pastor Morose as we looked at that issue back then. And now we're back with this shooting of this magnitude that took place in July. This took place here, as you know, in August. Last night, we lost 3 New Yorkers and 9 more are in the hospital after a horrific act of gun violence at a nightclub in Crown Heights. Today, while, of course, we mourn the victims and pray for their families and their community, we are calling on the public. We need your help. We need your help. if you were inside the club, if you heard individuals talking about this shooting, if you witnessed someone fleeing the location, every piece of information would allow us to put the puzzle together to solve this crime. If you witnessed the event, or if you have information, please call Crime Stoppers, 800-577-TIPS, TIPS, 800-577-TIPS. Gun violence of this magnitude, it really scars a community and a city, but we will continue to fight to do everything that's possible to continue to take illegal guns off our street. And I can easily stand here and tell you how we have driven down crime, we have removed over 22,000 illegal guns off our streets. I can give you those numbers and those stats, but that does not comfort those who are the victims of gun violence. What I can tell you, we will continue our aggressive pursuit to remove these illegal guns off our streets. Every single victim of violence, particularly gun violence, is one too many. And last night, mass shooting reminds us all the work that we must continue to do. And the NYPD and our partners in our faith-based community and our crisis management teams, we have mobilized them to immediately respond to this incident, as well as work with the friends and families of victims to stop any potential retaliatory action. We're always concerned after a shooting, the retaliatory shootings will follow if we don't get on the ground with our crisis management team and other partners. The commissioner of DYCD, Commissioner Howard and A.T. Mitchell, they will be coordinating to see how do we continue to get our crisis management team out to be activated and respond to this immediately. I also communicated with Pastor Morose. We unfortunately will have to mobilize a mass shooting plan. He's going to be put in charge of getting all our partners together so we can mobilize around these mass shootings. As I stated, this is the second within weeks, and we don't want this to turn into a normal course of doing business of violence in our city. And CMS hospital responders will be dispatched to Kings County Hospital, Brookdale Hospital, and Maimonides hospitals where the shooting victims are receiving medical attention. And we want to thank those hospitals for their quick response. Additionally, we provide trauma services and facilitate mediation efforts for the families of the deceased individuals in an effort to stop the retaliatory action. And finally, we are going to pray for the families and the victims and ask for all New Yorkers to join us in prayer as we lift these families up. We cannot answer hate with hate or violence with violence, but you have my word. We will do all that we can to protect the innocent and bring the guilty to justice. We will find those who are involved. And right now, we will continue to think of the families. I want to turn over to the police commissioner to give us any update and just an overview of what took place. Commissioner?
As the mayor said, what happened in Crown Heights this morning was a tragic, senseless act of violence. Our prayers are with the victims and their families. Our job now is to determine who is responsible and to hold them accountable. We have spent the past few hours poring over surveillance video, canvassing the neighborhood, and I can provide you with the following update, which is preliminary and subject to change. At approximately 3:27 a.m., we started to receive multiple 911 calls about a shooting inside of 903 Franklin Avenue, which is a lounge in Crown Heights known as Taste of the City. Officers arrived within minutes of the first 911 call and found numerous gunshot victims out inside of the location. Currently, we have identified 12 victims ranging in age from 19 to 61, 9 males and 3 females. Since the time of our last briefing, the victim count went up by 1 from 11 to 12. 3 of the victims have been pronounced dead. 1 male age 27 and 1 male age 35 who succumbed to their injuries at the hospital, as well as 1 male age 19 who was pronounced on scene. The 9 remaining victims are at local area hospitals with what is being described right now as non-life-threatening injuries. We are withholding victims' names at this time, pending family notifications. The investigation into this incident is ongoing. What we know preliminarily is that there was a dispute inside the crowded club that led to the shooting. We believe that there were up to 4 shooters involved in this incident. Our crime scene investigators have now recovered 42 shell casings from multiple guns. The shell casings appear to be from 9mm and .45 caliber weapons. At this time, no one is in custody, and the shooting preliminarily appears to be gang-related. Our detectives have recovered a firearm in the vicinity of Bedford Avenue and Eastern Parkway. We are investigating whether that firearm is tied to this shooting incident. As the mayor said, anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Pastor Monrose.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Mayor Adams, for your continued leadership on showing the humanity side of the business of running a big city like New York. Today is a summer day, of course, of worship across congregations in Crown Heights and New York City who have gathered to worship and pray. We are reminded of the frailty of human life and the reckless and deadly behavior of those who are armed with illegal guns, respect to human life. Our prayers and our condolences are to the family and friends of those who have lost their lives, and we are praying for the speedy recovery of those who are in the hospitals. May we take a moment to have a moment of silence as we remember the victims and also remember those who have lost their life even this year. We pause and reflect for those who are injured, and our prayers and our love to all of those who have paid the ultimate price of losing their life in New York City. We will be providing clergy care throughout the coming days. And I want to also recognize and thank Commissioner Keith Howard for providing the support. And also now I'll turn it over to A.T. Mitchell-Mann, who will have some comments.
Good morning. A.T. Mitchell-Mann, again from Man Up Incorporated, one of the crisis management system organizations in Brooklyn, New York, a part of the citywide crisis management system. I'm here joined by other fellow colleagues of mine alongside the system, as well as my colleagues here in government. And I'm speaking on behalf of the community at large in Brooklyn right now, and not the entire city. I'm more than sure, as folks woke up this morning, everyone heard the sad news that we were very taken aback because this summer has been relatively going quite well throughout in terms of the different things that community has been doing. But this morning we woke up to this sad news, and it made us really question, what is really going on in our city in some cases. And we are outraged. The community is outraged. This is a mass shooting, just as the mayor spoke about, similar to when we were together back in 2019, that took place in Brownsville, Brooklyn. And our community's response and our position is just the same. We will be denouncing this incident. We're denouncing senseless violence. We do not, think that this is a way that one needs to resolve their conflicts if that's what they chose to do. But now we step aside and we allow for our colleagues in the police department to do their job. But we have been, as a system, we've been responding ever since the call has been made. Our hospital responders are, as the mayor mentioned, on location at the hospitals right now, working with the families. Our men and women who are violence interrupters are also at work right now. as said, trying to prevent any forms of retaliation. And so we are going to do our part. You know, I just want to end by saying my condolences to the families of those that lost, and also to the family members who are recovering at the hospital. But this is a mass shooting. You know, this happens, as you said, this is the second one in a couple of weeks. So mass shootings require mass resources. And so we look to go into that area of Crown Heights and to be able to pour those resources within that area. And we're looking forward to everybody else's collaboration going forward. Thank you.
On top, anyone top?
Commissioner, you mentioned it was gang related. Can you identify the gangs involved in this? And can you also speak to if this was a planned attack or if these were just two groups who came across each other?
So I'm not going to provide that information now. I'm going to let the investigators work it. But I want to say approximately 60% of our shootings in New York City are gang related. And so we really see gangs driving so much of the violence in New York City. And a lot of our work in bringing the shooting numbers down so far this year has been because of our relentless focus on guns and gangs. And as the mayor said, we're certainly not going to let up now.
Do we know if these victims are innocent victims? And also, I know you can't discuss too much about motive, but do we believe this gang, that there are teenagers involved in this gang?
So again, I'm not going to speak more about the gang motivation. But yes, we have reason to believe that some of the victims were involved in the shooting incident. But again, that is preliminary and subject to change.
Do you know if any of them were innocent victims here?
There have to have been innocent victims here, yes.
Is security at the door? I mean, how did 4 guys come in at the front door?
Yep, the club did have bouncers, and we are working now to identify those bouncers and interview them.
Rival gangs, multiple?
As I said, I'm not going to comment more on the gang relation here. But anytime we have gang violence, we always immediately think about retaliation and how we plan for that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, there you have it, a news conference with Jessica Tisch, the NYPD commissioner, as well as Mayor Eric Adams and other New York City officials. This is video you're looking at from the scene a bit earlier on today, provided by WCBS. You could see it was still a very active scene hours later. You can see there on the left-hand side of your screen just some of the information that we have learned so far. Now, according to officials there, they say that multiple 911 calls came in, and that was around 3:27 a.m. Eastern time inside of 903 Franklin Avenue. That is the Taste of the City Lounge over in Brooklyn. Officers say when they arrived a short time later, they found several gunshot victims inside of that club that you see there on your screen around the tape. Now, officers did find 12 people shot, they say, between the ages of 19 and 61. As of right now, 3 of those victims died from their injuries at the hospital, we're told. All of them were men. At this point, the shooting does appear to be gang-related and stem from a dispute inside of that club. That is the information provided by Jessica Tisch just now, though she did not want to go into further detail about whether this was planned or something that sporadically happened. But there may be up to 4 shooters, according to the New York City Police Department. So much left to figure out as this is an active investigation. But again, all of the latest information coming in from Mayor Eric Adams as well as Jessica Tisch, the NYPD commissioner. Not clear if they will hold another news conference later on today. If they do, we will make sure to bring that to you in full and uninterrupted here on Live Now from Fox.
Okay, you saw it first. out of the mayor's mouth, out of the commissioner's mouth. They're not saying whether it's gang related. She's hypothesizing. She's kind of the Tisch. I guess what was her name? Jennifer or Jessica Tisch, the police commissioner. She was saying she's not ruling anything out, but she's not too definite. It's an ongoing, active investigation. She was asked whether the 3 people that were killed were involved. She said that seems to be apparent. But what does all this boil down to? This is all boils down to, just people wilding in the streets. I'm going to tell you what you don't do, though. You don't blame immigrants, and you don't blame guns. Blaming guns, 2014, Bray Wyatt. What? I got to look up who Bray Wyatt is. I don't know who Bray Wyatt is. 2014. Hold on. Bray Wyatt. Because of the hat. Oh, word. Bray Wyatt. That was his thing. See, that's this is my go-to. This is my Sunday attire. Don't mean to be light, but I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Coke cough. Oh, yeah, the Coke cough. But don't blame immigrants and don't blame guns. We have to get the guns off our streets. No, we have to get people that are involved with criminal activity off the streets. They have to go. They have to be behind bars. I want to see them locked up, put in handcuffs and put into the cruiser. That's what needs to happen. Yes, it is the same hat. I just looked it up. But anyway, we need to have, for New York. This is New York. This isn't like, backwater Kentucky. No shots at Kentucky. But I'm just saying it's not on the radar screen. It's super magnified. This is a very popular club, Taste of the City. I think it's a restaurant as well. Some kind of, obviously it sounds like that in the name, Taste of the City. And it's just a sad Sunday. It's just sad that, and Mayor Eric Adams seems like he's tired. He's like, I'm getting beat up in the polls. I'm not even, I better get in front of these people and tell them that, to prayers and condolences, prayers and thoughts and prayers to the families. I'm so sick and tired of that. Rottweiler in the chat said, was talking about, don't say condolences to the family, but that's the best way to say it. I don't like, I'm sorry. That's like you're apologizing. Did you have something to do with their cancer? What did you do? Did you have something to do with their murder? Why are you saying sorry? I'm so sorry. Don't say I'm so sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. They're dead because they're dead. Well, somebody else might have killed them, or it's not you. Also, I feel for you. I'll pray for you. Prayers for what, to whom? And I think condolences is the best response. It says that you had you didn't function in their death, their demise. You didn't have anything to do with it. You don't really know you may not know the people, but you understand you empathize with them, and you understand their pain. But this just looks like an ish show. This looks like an ish show. They had stats. They had stats about New York City. New York City is amazing. New York got cleaned up from the late 60s to the early 90s. Like, that whole time period was just like a crapshoot. Whether you're going to get raped, whether you're going to get murdered, whether you're going to get stabbed, you're going to get molested. It was crazy times. Then, they switched over. Disney came into the place, and, most of the drugs were cleaned up off the streets. Drugs, I'm for drugs, but the crime related to the drugs, the killings over the turf wars and stuff like that, that decreased. The number of robberies, rapes, and sexual assaults and murders, those all plummeted. And it only peaked. I should say shouldn't say peaked. I should say it spiked in during the pandemic and a little bit afterwards. That's the only time when it spiked, when violent crime spiked in New York City. Other than that, New York's been on the, as far as violent crime was on the downward trend. But this is like a spike. This is like a rare occurrence. This isn't happening every day in New York City. This is not at all happening every day in New York City. But this is really a blow, I think, to Mayor Adams' campaign as well. How he handles this will make a big stir. And I'm not going to say this was all planned out. He did this on purpose so he could get his numbers up. That's ugly. That's disgusting. I'm never going to say that. But people think that. People think it's like the wag the dog kind of thing. It's even more. It's more vicious than the wag the dog scenario. Creating that's pretty vicious too. Creating a war to get people's mind off of a scandal in the presidency that came out in the 90s. David Mamet, I think, either wrote and directed it, or at least wrote it. But here, it would seem like it's like Eric Adams is like fighting to stay within range of I can't remember his name. Starts with an M. Somebody put it in the chat. The mayor, he's Mondorian or something. Mandian something. I can't remember his name. Doesn't matter though. Salute to Dot Focus. Let me get your banner on the screen. I just got money from our friend Mr. Pang. He paid me. I got another sale. Uh-oh, Holly's in the building. She's saying, yo, man dummy. Mandami, that PO, exactly, yeah. Exactly. They see, Holly she's a classy girl. She's a very classy young lady. She put that POS, she could have said it all out, Hey baby. Hello, salute to you, Holly. The best recreational therapist in the world. I appreciate her. But anyway, visit .focus_1_ on his YouTube channel and subscribe, like, and comment. If you enjoy Call of Duty and other first-person shooters, you will not be disappointed. Tell him that the silly guy Sky sent you. So tell him that I sent you, said that, he goes for the pink mist. It's kind of, I'm not trying to be funny on, such a day of, such a violence and force, but that's what in the gaming world, you know what the pink mist is. So go to .focus's YouTube channel, like, subscribe, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. Holly says, hi, Sky. Just done playing bingo with the guys. She does that. I remember trivia. Trivia was really fun. I remember there was another Marine that we were like head to head. We were like knocking, we were like, I think you had to raise your hand first or something like that, or whoever raised their hand first will get the chance to say whatever the trivia was. And then if you got it right, you got like a voucher, to get something, I think, to buy at one of the stores or something like that within the hospital. It's crazy, but it was fun. But anyway, 3 dead, 12 shot. I don't know the extent of the injuries of the 12 people shot. They could be life-threatening. They could be critical. They could be stable. Nobody's really talking about it that much. I will get to other videos. I just wanted to play the main video with Mayor Adams and the Commissioner Tisch. Yeah, so the mayor's not looking good. This is another I want to say a black eye, but this is worse than a black eye. This is like a gut punch and a kick to the ribs kind of thing. This is not pretty for him. This is not good. This does not bode well for his campaign. I mean, he may not have anything to do with it. Let's say I'm not saying he does. I'm not saying in any regard that he has anything to do with it, but I'm saying it doesn't look right that he is embroiled in scandal. Like he's still trying to get the stink off from the scandal that he was involved in, as well as he's still running for mayor. He's running for re-election. That looks very scant. That looks very, very small. That looks tiny in comparison with Mandami. What is it? She had Mandami and what's his Cuomo. Cuomo's back in the position. I think it's Mandami, Cuomo, and Adams. I think that's how it goes in the polls. Holly says, I think she's being very sarcastic here. She says, poor Mayor Adams has like a 70% rating or something I was watching yesterday. He's not winning the next mayoral race. No. Cuomo, that other imbecile. All three of them. I mean, it's like they belong together. They should retire to a remote island and just live out the rest of their days, because like they're all losers to me. They're all losers. Mandami is a loser. Cuomo is a loser, and Byron. What is it? Brian is what is it? Mayor. I'm gonna say Mayor Adams. I can't remember his first name. Somebody correct my dumb ass in the live chat. But yeah. So I just they rubbed me the wrong way. All three of them. None of them are talking about individual rights. Yes, Adams' party, he turned on him. Yeah, definitely turned on him. They had the opportunity to back him and continue on, support him. They said, "Nah, we out of here. It's all good. I'm set. I'm set straight like a perm. I'm good. I'm out of here." So let me see. Mayor Adams will win again. He's MAGA's tool. Trump will make sure to rig it. Is he really MAGA's tool? Is that right, Rottweiler? Are you sure? Are you just trolling, or are you saying something of substance? What are you doing? Trump will make sure to rig it. Wasn't Adams looking at years? He was looking at years, wasn't he? He was looking at like if he was charged, he would have looked at some serious years. He stands by Trump. I didn't even realize that. I thought isn't he a Democrat? Isn't Mayor Adams a Democrat? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I might be high. I don't know. But I thought Mayor Adams was a Democrat. Holly says they're mad. He stopped supporting their illegals. See, this is where Miss Carenti and I we have our differences, because she says that she's not for illegals. I'm for illegals. I'm all for illegals. I want more illegals in the country that are for this country, for America, pro-America, waving the flag, not here for terrorism or gangs or stuff like that. They just want to work. They want to be hotel cleaning staff. They want to be putting tar on the roof. They want to pick oranges. They want to be nuclear physicists. They want to be educators. That's the way you be. They want to be car salesmen. They want to own car lots. I don't know. As long as they're here and they're doing the right thing, I don't have a problem with illegals. Illegals are probably paying more taxes than me. I don't pay taxes. I don't pay any. The only time I pay taxes is when I go to Maryland. I live in Delaware. We have no sales tax, so I don't have any property tax. I don't have any income taxes. I have none of that. None. No taxes whatsoever. Do they not? I mean, some do. Some illegals do. That focus. Not maybe not all. But how? Oh, let me see. What is this? That means you are for legal immigrants. Yeah, I'm for legal. I'm definitely for legal immigrants. I'm definitely for legal immigrants. But given the context, whatever the context is, I'm for illegal. They want to be rich, richer than you and I. That's all they want. Exactly. That's what America's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be richer. I'm supposed to be the richest. It's not about I want to be richer than you. It's just I want to be the richest. Rottweiler said, oh, wait a minute. Holly says, no, my hard-earned tax dollars aren't to support BS. There she goes. Now she's getting indignant. Illegal immigrants. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Here we go. They don't pay ish just like you. Illegals don't pay taxes, sir. No, they want to. Wait a minute. You mixing the two. I live in Massachusetts. Yeah, I lived in Massachusetts for almost 2 years. Illegals are undocumented. Yeah, that's like you going to Russia with no ID. Illegal. Only non-taxpayers support the illegals. I guess that's true. Maybe that's true. But that's not necessarily true, because look up Dr. Jerome Brook. He is of the Ayn Rand Institute. He's in support of illegals, depending on where their situation is. They want to be, chemists. They want to go to school. They want to be students. They want to do whatever, microbiology. They want to do film. If they want to do ballet, I want to say different, vocations and occupations that people, don't normally associate with illegals. We just think they're, picking oranges, or they're in hotel, hotel staff, or they're bus boys in a restaurant or something like that. I've seen that face to face. I can pretty much say for a fact that there were immigrants that were either illegal or legal. That when I worked at Olive Garden, I was a server. at Olive Garden, and the dishwashers, who the dishwashers were? Mexicans or something like that, close to it. Something Puerto Ricans, something Hispanics. They were washing the dishes. I'm not making this up. And they were not saying a lot of words. They weren't saying, words in English. I'm saying they were just doing the work, putting in work. They're cleaning off these overstuffed, spoiled Americans eating linguine and steak and gorgonzola. Oh, here we go. Holly's appealing to Dot Focus, right, Dot, and Rottweiler says, and pillheads. Yes, I'm a pillhead. So I just left Olive Garden. You must be having you must have autocorrect. You meant to say just left Olive Garden. Sky, tell him, pay attention. That ish about to get raided by ICE now. Uh-oh. Those immigrants will deep their in your lemon water. Wow. Okay. Where was this again, Sky? Asking for a friend. Where was what? My Olive Garden experience this is in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. It was in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. If that's what you mean, where was this again, Sky? Asking for a friend. And he's got the pill. Rottweiler's got the pill. Holly says Puerto Ricans don't want the illegals pulling up to their islands either. That's true. And Spaniards don't want Puerto Ricans in their country either. Think about that. So today's, terrible situation. It's terrible. I would say it's a tragedy. It's tragic. Allegedly, some of these people don't necessarily, deserve to have condolences. They could be, gangbangers. They could be, the filth of the earth instead of the salt of the earth. Downingtown, PA, ICE Intel info. You got a radio scanner or something? Move all the immigrants to flood zones. Oh my God. every legal immigrant is anti-illegal immigration either. I do think that's true, Holly. I think that's true. I think that is the fact is a fact. I think that's true. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up another. This is funny. Let me see what I can do. 6 hours ago.
Just try to get out. Just save my life. I made it out safe.
What was it like going through something like that?
I have no idea because I wasn't paying attention. And that was my first time here. I really don't know the area.
I mean, like this experience, being through a shooting, surviving something like this. What was this like for you?
Oh, I'm really shocked right now. It's the first time that happened to me.
And describe to me, did you hear a commotion? You said it happened in the middle.
Yeah, it happened in the middle.
And give me some, walk me back. So you were towards the front.
In the front.
Okay, and then tell me what happened from there. Were you getting ready to leave anyway? You were just sitting by the window?
I was just sitting down.
And then what happened?
And I heard the gunshot.
It was just one? Or?
It's multiple.
And describe for me what happened then. Were people running, panic?
Running, yeah. Try to run, been down.
What ran through your mind when you heard the gunshots? You mentioned you had a friend that was also in there, so talk about what ran through your head.
And my mind was just like, God, please help me. And then find my way to get out. When I really found my way to get out, I was like, thank you. And everybody was outside crying. It's crazy.
And you said you're looking for your friend?
I'm still looking for him. I haven't seen him.
Is he from Brooklyn or was he?
Nah, it's not.
Okay. And you said you're not from here, right?
No.
So you're visiting?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a very interesting. That was interesting because that was an example of you have to cover possible witnesses. They were doing that because she saw most of the commotion and heard the loud shotgun blast, and I was just like, why are they holding the microphone? But I was like, okay, yeah, they had to maintain her anonymity. She fine. Who you told? You would say everybody said, "Oh, the light skinned girl fine." I don't know. Talking about the flood zones. Talking about the flood zones. What do you mean, Holly? Who's talking about the flood zones? We're talking about the shooting in New York City this morning, or early this morning, or late or early this afternoon, something like that. I think it was earlier this morning. But I have to do a sponsor. I just got paid yesterday, so it's moving. Whoever needs raw CMOS gel, go to LifeStrong Apparel. That's LIFESTRONGAPPAREL.com for all your raw CMOS needs. Also, after you make your selections, type in SKYLER20 or Skyler20 as a promo to receive 20% off. 20% off. That's a huge amount off your purchases. Tell Mr. Pang that I sent you. This silly guy Sky sent you. Thank you very much. They're gonna do like Dr. CB. I don't think so. I don't see that happening. Also, another sponsor, Bayha Jackson, the former child actor, one of the best guys on YouTube right now. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to his YouTube page. If you enjoy sardines on the grill, fried chicken, near beer, and adult female strippers, tell him Silly Sky sent you in the comments. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now I gotta put up my stuff. I'm putting in work for everybody else. That's mine. Venmo at Skylerized. Oh, Holly. Okay. I don't like to go back and I don't really talk about him. We could kind of talk about him. Dr. Umar, yeah, he's in my backyard. He's in Wilmington, Delaware. He couldn't maintain the school or something crazy. It didn't go right. He was in over his head with debt. I mean, so tough break, nigga. That's what happens, you know. Tough break. What are you gonna do? You know, it's a sad shame, but that's what happens. He'll figure it out. It's like what Jay-Z says. He'll figure it out. Dr. Umar's in that space where like he can be very influential, and he could be a very steadfast and confident and strong individual, but I think he holds himself back. I don't know a lot about him, but he just seems like somebody that holds himself back. That's what I said. Did I say Jay-Z? I hope I said Jay-Z. Jay-Z said that. Jay-Z said that. Allegedly, then he said Jigga didn't say that. Allegedly, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty close to being sure. Jay-Z said about Dame Dash. He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. But you know, on days like this, though, he's begging for money right now. Yeah, he's been begging for money. I'm begging for money. That's what this internet thing is all about. You beg for money, and you get it. I've made thousands of dollars so far, tax free. It's great. I would love to pay taxes, but what is it? Busted in the I would love to pay taxes, but I would like to be like a surgeon with the taxes. I don't want to work on somebody's brain when I should be working on their kidneys. In other words, I want to surgically use, you know, taxation or payment for governmental services, as a philosopher, the late great, of course, Ayn Rand once said, I would only pay for cops, judges, and warriors. That means the police, the law courts, and the military. That's it. That's all you need in the government. Not Social Security, not Medicare, not Medicaid, not OSHA, not DEA, not FDA, not and so many other alphabet and soups organizations. So that's just for me. I would love to pay. And if we had a setup where we had, you know, people that were on the internet, you know, like a list of people that didn't pay taxes, you would shut them from your business. You would not deal with them. You would not look them in the eye. You when you saw them coming down the street, they would have to walk the other way because they're not paying their fair share. It's facts. But what am I talking about? We're going off the subject. Let me get another video.
Breaking news, a police search for several gunmen this morning who they say shot up a lounge in Brooklyn.
11 people in total were shot, and 3 of those were killed. The victims ranging in age from 27 to 61 years old. Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lands is live at a very busy police scene in Crown Heights this morning. Shantae.
And Tony and Joe, good morning. Very busy is a great way to explain it. In fact, a second crime scene unit van just arrived here. You can also see, I want to reference how close this is to the actual shooting. That's a police precinct. It's transit police, but that's how brazen this crime was. Bullets sprayed inside that lounge. You can see multiple detectives. Will Cespedes is going to pan over from this other crime scene van here. You can see an investigator going in that truck. But further along, you can see detectives standing outside in the middle of the street here. This is Franklin Avenue in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. But this is where that shooting happened. This is Taste of the City Lounge. And you mentioned the age range, Joe and Tony. 11 people in total shot, 3 of them, all males, killed, ages 27, 35. And according to Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, the third person's age, also a male, is not known. This happened just after 3 in the morning. 36 shell casings at least were gathered from multiple guns. That's according to police. So far, no arrests, but they're canvassing this area for videos of any information on those suspects. They also found, we want to mention, a gun at Bedford Avenue and Eastern Parkway, not too far from here, but they're not sure if that's connected. Again, that's according to the police commissioner. But what we know, according to a witness that I spoke with who was inside at the time, that shooting happened in the middle of Taste of the City Lounge. Multiple people were shot at that time. She was in the front. She got out. She's okay, thankfully. But we also spoke with witnesses, and I also, of course, the police commissioner about this brazen crime.
Officers arrived within minutes of the first 911 calls and found numerous gunshot victims inside of the location. Currently, we have identified 11 victims ranging in age from 27 to 61. 8 males and 3 females.
And back out live here outside of Taste of the City Lounge, that Commissioner Tisch also mentioned that there was a shooting here November of 2024 that they have on record, someone getting shot. They didn't die, but this, of course, is the worst. This is a mass shooting. She also said shootings up until this point wasn't as bad, but obviously now, after today, they have their hands tied and they'll be on this scene all day. Reporting live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, Shantae Lands, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Now you see, that was special because she was reporting that there was another shooting in 2024, but nobody was killed. And this like just amps up the set. And everybody's now all attention focuses on New York City. New York City is the media capital of the world, the financial capital of the world, the entertainment. Well, one of the if it's not LA, it's New York. You're gonna get at least 12 movies a month about New York or surrounded the areas of New York City. It's a hub. It's a super hub. I mean, it's beyond measure in a lot of cases. So it's a beautiful city. I've been there, a few times. This is in the mid 2000s and the mid 2000 teens. I mean, I had experiences that I said, if you ask me, you'd be like, oh, that's you just making it up. That's too New York. Like I could go on for a whole hour telling you about what happened when I was in New York City. But yeah. Oh, here we go. Whoa. Bumble, leave my people out of this. Uh-oh. Bumble said it was probably some Asians. Word of advice, stay out of Crown Heights, that for the black man. If you go to Crown Heights and are surprised there's a shooting, then you shouldn't be in Crown Heights. Fact. Maybe that dope AOC. Yeah, I like to say Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez can come speak out and say how crime is going down. Yeah. Well, crime was already down. That was Space Cadet Cortez, she I don't want to call her Space Cadet because that's too easy. She's too evil. I think she's way too evil to call her a Space Cadet. Some people are just spacing. She knows what she's doing. She's aware of her evil. She's aware of how evil she is. Cortez is only good for one thing, and it's not politics. That's for sure. Wow. Okay, I can only imagine. I'm glad you didn't elaborate on that, Rick James. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. But we had a party. It was 10 people in here at one time, so I appreciate that. Thank you. She's an America hating seed of immigrants. I can't deny that. I can't deny that. I think she really hates America. She hates the American way. She hates Western ideals. She hates the way that we have. She thinks it's a cesspool. She thinks it's really an ugly place to be. She hates the fact that she hates the fact that she has to live in the place that she hates the most, but she relishes it because she has an ounce of power connected to her name. She's the dopiest out there. Holly says that. Like I said, I don't want to call her dopey. She's too evil for dopey. Some people are just, can be good and dopey, just like, oh, she's a knucklehead. She's just a numbskull. No, it's something worse for her. I remember it was a few years ago. She wore a dress that said "Eat the Rich." It was a beautiful gown at the Met Gala, and it was painted with red ink, with red like paint and it read "Eat the Rich." Like, this is a seriously inept, ugly, disgusting person. I can't stand her. Holly hit up my email so we could discuss further. So Rick James is going in. Pause. The only lady from Guatemala said, "I'm a Guatemalan before I'm an American." Yep. Hold American government position, shaking my head. Yep. They infiltrated. They infiltrated into the system. Sadly. I'm gonna play this last video, and we're just gonna coast out on that. I don't know what A&R News is. It's a mix. I already did this one.
Breaking news.
Did that one.
3 people are dead and 8 others hurt after a shooting.
What we know preliminarily is that there was a dispute inside of the crowded club that led to the shooting. We have multiple shooters involved in this shooting, and we have recovered at least 36 shell casings so far from what appears to be multiple guns. Officers arrived within minutes of the first 911 calls and found numerous gunshot victims inside of the location. Currently, we have identified 11 victims ranging in age from 27 to 61. 3 of the victims have already been pronounced. Something like this is, of course, thank God, an anomaly. And it's a terrible thing that happened this morning, but we're going to investigate it and get to the bottom of what went down. Good morning. The information I'm about to provide is preliminary and subject to change. I'm going to brief you on a shooting incident that occurred earlier this morning in the Crown Heights neighborhood of Brooklyn. The details are as follows. At approximately 3:27 a.m., the 911 call center started receiving multiple 911 calls about a shooting inside of 903 Franklin Avenue, which is a lounge known as Taste of the City. Officers arrived within minutes of the first 911 calls and found numerous gunshot victims inside of the location.
Hold on. I gotta answer Holly. Holly says, so if you think they infiltrated, why would you want more of their illegals? I would want more of not their illegals, but American citizens who love this country, who have escaped from Venezuela and El Salvador and Chile and parts of Central America and other parts of South America. They wanted to get here to create a better life for themselves. Not gangsters, not terrorists, not people that spread diseases, people that just want to work and create and make and build up their families and their lives. That's what I want to do. Okay, here we go. Okay, that was Delia Ramirez who said, I'm a Guat first. Okay. Hell, I blame immigrants for global warming. Oh my God. Not AOC. Okay. Venezuela, yeah. But I was saying about AOC. Well, you're right. You're right, Holly. She's part of the rich. She gets 6 figures. She gets a 6-figure income. In a lot of ways, that's rich. Not really rich. It's not, for a politician, yeah. And that's the thing with, most politicians, career politicians like Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe was in my state. He was a senator for what, 40 years, I think? And then he was called to be a vice president. And then he became president years later. But he was in the state for what, 40 years or 30. It was like 30 to 40 years. Something I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was close to that. From the 70s to the mid 2000s or late 2000s. It's crazy. But yeah, they get rich because they can pass legislation that benefits them. But they don't want to say they're selfish. Oh no. That's beyond the pale. That's wrong. That's vicious. That's evil. That's mean. I can't say I'm selfish, even though I'm looking out for my own self-interest, which is the definition of selfishness. Rick James says, Sleepy Joe, he's tired. Let him go to sleep. He's worn, not warm. He said warm. Check out AOC Worth. I'm going to look at that now, right now, since the beautiful white woman in my chat says, look up her net worth. I don't believe it. They're not giving it what it really was. What does she have? She's worth something. She worth something. Allegedly millions, Holly. I can't say it on my show. I can only say allegedly. But hey, we did it, Joe. Yeah, exactly. We did it, Joe. We finally put you in a home. We did it. No, but okay, this is a serious day. I want to say allegedly 3 people got shot and killed. That deserved that. I don't know if they deserved it, but they were involved allegedly, according to Commissioner Tisch. That's what I'm gonna start calling her. If she's out there anymore, Jessica Tisch from the police commissioner. I wonder what gave her that job. Eric Adams seems like a DEI. It seems like he was a DEI hire. Like they're like, same thing with Obama. The first president voted not for his character, but by the color of his skin. Facts. Nobody cared the fact that he had the worst agenda on record. Nobody cared the fact that he had terrible track records. Nobody cared about the fact that what did he earn the Nobel Prize for? I mean, I have no idea why he even has a Nobel Prize, Peace Prize. It boggles the mind. But he was voted because he was black. People were like, like the people that were MAGA may not have even been able to vote yet. They were still young. But when they got to an age, they're like, yeah, definitely, I'm gonna vote for Trump, against, Hillary, the first election. And then in 2020, I think people just got scared of Trump because Trump was horrific. He was a terrible president. Like I said, I didn't think we could get worse than Obama, and then we had Trump. And then Biden kind of just was like in the middle, just a moderate, just nothing. Why do you have a waffle as your PFP? That's your face. All these women are DEI. Uh-oh. At least Eric, I call him Adam. Eric, did I say something? I said Brian Adams. Eric Adams, excuse me, pardon me, was police and worked in government. Yeah, that's true. He did work up his position. Eric Adams did work his position. But I don't think he should have been mayor. He shouldn't have not have been mayor. Because, I mean, just like any other politician, they're not for you. They don't care about you. They want votes. They want to have positions. That's why that lap dance song is so great. You know, ever heard about from Pharrell? I'm going way back, but this is, you know, while the government, they all sound like strippers to me. They say, ooh, ooh, baby, you want me? Ooh, ooh, baby, you want me? Well, you can get this lap dance here for free. That's what they all are. They're pretty much like strippers, you know. They don't really care if you have a good time or not. They just want the money. They just want the votes. Yes, yes. Sky has a yarmulke under his hat. Nope, we all believed Obama. Time for a change. Yeah, that hopey. What did Sarah Palin say? You know, that hopey, changey kind of thing. she was ditzy. She was dippy. She was dopey. She was a space cadet. She really wasn't. I mean, from what I understand, she was like not bright enough to be evil. She had her tendencies, but she wasn't completely evil. AOC is completely evil. See, like Sarah Palin actually loves this country. I think she has a weird way of expressing it, but I think she actually loves this country, and you know, to the root. Time for a diaper change. Vote for Biden. That was good. That was good. That was good. W. Rot. That's what Holly says. Okay, so it's been over an hour. I appreciate everybody that came through. It's Sunday, and very serious news coming out of New York City. We're just going to continue having mass shootings. This is America. This is, you know, we have mass shootings. Welcome to the party. This is why I don't mind illegals. This is the exact reason why I don't mind illegals. They're like, shoot, they got mass shootings. They got attempted assassinations. They got crime. I don't want to contribute to that crime. I just want to live a life with my family and make it better, make my own my own surroundings better, and improve upon myself and the people that I love. That's the only reason why I say it. Yes, Holly, that is true. Sarah Palin was a pageant winning moron. Yes, that is true. Don't get hit. Welcome to America, better duck. Yeah. I think we should leave it with that. That's a good, welcome to America, better duck. You know. So salute to all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you especially to Holly, the woman of the house. I appreciate when you chime in, and I hope you continue to support this channel. Tell other friends, you know, not just you, Holly, but, you know, Rottweiler, Bamba, Rick James. Just tell other friends about me. Dot Focus, thank you. Dot Focus coming in. Just tell other friends about me. Tell them about my Venmo. Tell them about, you know, the 20% off deal with Mr. Pang and his LIFESTRONG apparel.com. I will see you all sometime in the morning tomorrow. Take care.